Hi, I'm Blake Repine, and welcome to Strategy, Leadership, and Impact. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Hope you've been well since the last time you tuned in. If you're a new listener, this is the first time you've ever listened to one of the podcasts, please give us a follow and give us a like. If you're a returning listener, you've liked what you've been hearing, give us a like as well. And for anybody who's listening, make sure you share this with your colleagues, friends, family, anybody who you think might enjoy the podcast. The more people we're able to get this out to, the more we're able to share the knowledge that we are sharing and make a difference somewhere. And if there's a topic that you'd like to hear my point of view on, make sure you email me at blakerepine@gmail.com, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn at Blake Repine. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook now. Just search Blake Repine. There's two different accounts on Instagram and Facebook, but you'll be able to tell pretty quickly which is the difference between the two, whether it be from the podcast or my personal stuff. But just send me a message through there. Also, if you have a question or something, about something I've talked about before, or you'd like me to expand on a topic, or just don't necessarily agree with the topic and how I've presented it, let me know. I'm really interested in your point of view too. Also, if I do need to expand on something, I'm more than happy to do that as well. So on to today's topic, and this can be a quite contentious topic for some people to discuss, whether it be amongst their friends, amongst their family, things like that, because everybody has a point of view around what this is, and it's about success. And who defines your success? How you define success will be different. So if I were to line up 100 people, go down the line and ask every one of them, how do you define success? There would be some similarities, but there would also be quite a few differences as well, because it is different for everybody. And this really all comes back to what you want out of life, basically, what you consider to be successful. I'll give you a very basic, succinct definition of success, and it's the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Notice that definition, it doesn't say being a millionaire. It doesn't say having a big mansion. It doesn't say driving the top of the line luxury cars. Who knows, whatever it is, insert here. It doesn't say that. It just says the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. And someone's aim or their purpose in life is going to be completely different from yours. Even siblings and family members and things, whatever, those closest to us, sometimes our definition of success is going to be completely different from what they have in mind or what they want to achieve. And just because someone's defining their own success differently, they're defining it for them, doesn't make it bad. It just makes it different. So we should never put someone down because their definition of success, or look down on someone because their definition of success is different from what we feel like it is. Whatever we see as successful, who cares if someone else thinks that it should be something different? You have to live your life. You're not living somebody else's life. There's a couple challenges within defining success in what society tells us. And I'll start kind of at high level society. If you look at media and entertainment and things like that, social media influencers, that's a big thing nowadays. You see someone on social media who's flying around in private jets. They're staying at these massive mansions. They just look like they have all this money and all this time just to do nothing and enjoy things. And well, first of all, to me, that's not really, I don't see that as being successful. And a lot of those people, they're very fake anyway, because they're not actually doing those things. They don't own those. They're just kind of dropping in and taking photos or whatever. But that's the perception that they put out. And it's a false perception, because do those things, that's what's going to make you feel fulfilled? I believe, and this is my opinion, the things that are going to make you successful, the things that are going to make you feel like you're the most successful, are the things that are going to fulfill you the most in life. In a career, you can have a career doing something that's very fulfilling and be successful. You don't have to have a career just to pay the bills that you're going to hate. And, you hate life, and every morning on the way to work, you have the white knuckles by the time you get there because you hate your job so much, but you're doing it because you want to pay the bills. Well, that's not successful. Do something that's going to make you feel good. You're going to find fulfilling. I'll give you an example of different pressures around that, coming down to an individual level. And sometimes our family members think that they're the best ones, or they know whatever's best for us, particularly parents or guardians. I'll give you an example of a friend of mine. She works in the fitness industry, incredibly smart, incredibly driven, could do whatever she wanted to, but she chooses to work in the fitness industry for certain very specific reasons. And her parents actually give her quite a hard time about it and ask her often when she's going to get a real job. And that's very difficult to hear. For first of all, what is a real job? That I'm not quite sure what that means. Some people do see certain industries and certain positions as a real job. But in one of those real jobs, would she feel fulfilled? Probably not. She'd probably hate it. Even though she'd be very capable, she'd probably hate it. Just wouldn't have that same level of fulfillment. But working in the fitness industry, something that she loves, she's not only affecting people's physical health, but she's also affecting people's mental health as well. People that are really good in the fitness industry, they don't just focus on workouts. They focus on your nutrition. They focus on your mindset. They focus on a holistic person. And a lot of times mental things manifest themselves physically in our bodies. And, you will spend a lot of time in the mental space. But anyway, without going down that rabbit hole, it's a role that she finds to be very fulfilling personally. And that in itself is a definition of success. She has already achieved success, even though there's things that she's going to achieve throughout her career in that area, and she's going to change many lives doing it. She's already achieved success because she has found something that she's passionate about, something that she feels fulfilled. There's too much pressure on people nowadays to find a job, just to bring in a paycheck or bring in a big paycheck, but be in something you hate without being fulfilled. And as a parent myself, if my children find a job where they're feeling fulfilled and, like they have a purpose, that is more important than any title or any career that they could potentially have. Plus, they're different from me. Even though 50%, my son James, for example, even though 50% of his DNA is mine, he's very different from me. And the things he's going to do in life will probably be, they might end up being very similar because we are very similar personalities, but it's going to be very different from myself. So, and it's a hard thing that whenever our parents are telling us, you should do these things with your life, and you go, well, did you do that? No, you didn't. So why are you telling me I need to do it? If you're an adult, it's your life to live. It's not your parents' life to live. They still have their life. They raised you. So you're out of the house. Now it's time for you to do your thing. Be your own person. Also, having a fulfilling job doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be poor either. Fulfilling and purpose does not necessarily equal poverty. You don't have to, suffer because you have this fulfilling job. You can still make a really good paycheck. And matter of fact, if you do something that you're very passionate about and you find fulfilling, because you find it fulfilling, you're going to be more passionate about it. And because of that, you're actually likely to bring in a higher income than those people that don't enjoy doing those things, that just got into it for the money or for, it was an easy career path or whatever. You will stand out. And I'll give you a good example of something you can use to kind of find this successful career path, something that's going to help you be successful and find that fulfillment. And it's going back to the book Good to Great by Jim Collins. And in this, he uses a Venn diagram, and it's all about companies finding what they can do best. But you can use it on an individual level as well. So you draw your first circle of your Venn diagram and write in that circle everything that you enjoy doing, everything that you think that you would find fulfilling. And then in the next circle of your Venn diagram, you're going to write down every one of those skills that you think that you would be incredibly passionate about, or that you can do better than anybody else. The ones that you're highly skilled in, the ones that you really care about, the ones you can be very passionate about, the ones that you think you would find the most fulfilling. So you're going to narrow that list down even further. And then in that third circle of that Venn diagram, you're going to write down, out of that list you did in that second circle, you're going to write down, now, which one of those skills, which one of those desires, which one of those things that you would find fulfilling can you actually make money at? It might not be that there's a job in that area, but which one could you potentially make money at? And then that's where you should be focusing your efforts whenever you're looking at your career. Sometimes people, they have a career, but they don't find it fulfilling. They're not going to be very successful. So they volunteer on the side to do something that they would find fulfilling and be successful at. Why don't you do that full time? Sometimes it's, well, I'll lose my status, because I won't have this title anymore, or I won't be bringing in the income anymore. Well, you can live within your means and be perfectly happy. And I'll give you an example of this too. Several years ago, I used to volunteer in high schools, and I would teach these life skills courses. And one of them, we talk about finances and budgeting. And I'd always ask the question, what do people want to achieve? Particularly these high school students, what do you want to achieve as far as your income? And nearly every one of them said, I want to be comfortable. It's okay. Well, what does that mean? And we'd go around the room and they would define what it meant to be comfortable. And a lot of them would say, well, I just want to be able to pay all my bills that I have, put money away into savings or investments, and then have a little bit of discretionary income left over to basically play with, buy whatever, not necessarily big flashy things, but if you want to go on an extra holiday, stuff like that. So not real flashy stuff. So then I would ask myself, okay, so can you live comfortably off a household income of $100,000 a year? You know, you and a spouse make about $50,000 a year. And they all said, oh, yeah, I guess so. And I said, okay, can you live comfortably off a household income of $1 million a year? And they said, oh, yeah, definitely. I'd be so much more comfortable with $1 million a year versus $100,000 a year. And I said, okay, so let's say you and a spouse, you and a partner, household income $100,000 a year. You're able to pay all your bills. You're able to put, let's say, 10 to 15% away into savings every year. You're able to put a little bit extra away for retirement. You're also able to have a little bit of discretionary income left over to go play with, do whatever you want. Is that comfortable? They said yes. And I said, okay, now same situation, you and a partner making $1 million a year household income, but yet you're spending every single dollar on it because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You have the latest and greatest of everything, but you have no money left over for savings, no discretionary income whatsoever. And basically, if one little thing happens, you know, your car breaks down, some kind of emergency at your home, you know, your hot water system breaks down, whatever, you're broke. That's it. You can't even afford to do that. Is that comfortable? No, it's not. And that was always the answer back. So your income doesn't matter as long as you live within your means. So that was their definition of success would be, I want to be comfortable. Well, comfortable is about managing what you do have. So sometimes we have to look at our own lives, decide what is best for us as an individual, and then look at what it is that you find the most fulfilling. If you truly want to feel successful in life and feel fulfilled in life and like you have a purpose, find those things that you think would do that, and then define what would success look like for you. Don't let other people define your success. Don't let your family define what your success should look like. Don't let social media influencers define what your success should look like. Define it yourself. And I'll guarantee once you do that and you don't care what anybody else thinks about what success should look like for you, you will feel so much better as a person. You will feel so much more fulfilled as a person. You will get so much more out of life in general just by doing that. Only you can define your success. And if you have any questions about that, contact me. I'd be more than happy to help you walk through a process of helping you define what does success look like for you. No judgment, no nothing. Because at the end of the day, flashy cars, big mansions, things like that, they don't last. Can't take it with you when you're dead. So whenever you die, the day before your death, then you had to look back on your life and say, was I successful or not? Or did I just live in stress? It's up to you. Hope you have a good one, and we'll talk again soon.